Chapter 26. Into the Heart of the Arcane Storm. The deeper Plung ran into the demon's domain, the more he felt the wrongness of the forest. Each tree was twisted into grotesque shapes, like nightmares frozen for eternity. The air was heavy and damp, thick with a malevolent magical aura. The whistling wind that passed through the branches sounded like the mournful screams of imprisoned spirits. The instinct from the bloodline of the night within him was racing, warning him of the danger on all sides. At the same time, the faint pull connecting him to Anjali remained as clear as a guiding light in the suffocating darkness. Suddenly, the scene before him blurred. The path he had been following vanished, replaced by an impassable, dense forest with no clear exit. Left looked like right, and forward was no different from back. He was trapped in the Forest of Illusions, Kun Amnat's first line of magical defense. Cold whispers rose up around him, trying to sow fear and doubt in his heart. "What can you do? You are all alone. She abandoned you. Why would you go to save her? Turn back before you die a torturous death." "Silence!" Plung roared. He shut his eyes, severing his perception of the world crafted by dark magic. Forsaking his five senses, he opened himself only to the feeling of the bloodline flowing in his veins. He focused on a single destination, the warm light he believed to be Anjali's presence. When he opened his eyes again, the Forest of Illusions had vanished. He was standing on the correct path once more. He pressed forward, his determination stronger than before. But the trials were not over. As he moved past the illusionary woods, the surrounding vines and roots suddenly came to life. They shot towards him like vile serpents from the underworld. Plung drew his sword from its sheath, unleashing the swordsmanship he had learned. The sharp blade clashed against roots as hard as stone, creating sparks. A slicing sound echoed each time he severed the deadly vines. He moved with the swiftness and ferocity of a tiger, not just defending himself, but venting his rage against the one who had harmed Anjali. At the heart of the castle, Kun Amnat sensed the intruder who had broken through 2 layers of his magical defenses, but he remained unconcerned. "Merely some foolish wild animals that have wandered in," he said with contempt, extending his hand over the wishing gem, which was now levitating in midair, spinning and emitting a violent blood-red light. "It is close. The power of the sun bloodline is about to be released and merge with me." Kun Amnat began chanting the final incantation in an ancient tongue unintelligible to ordinary humans. The immense energy from the ritual formed into a jet-black dome that enveloped the entire castle. It was the final and strongest arcane barrier. After a fierce battle, Plung finally broke through the encirclement of the demonic flora. He stood panting on a clear hill, and the sight before him nearly made his heart stop. A jet-black castle stood tall amidst a swirling thunderstorm. It looked formidable and evil, like the fang of a demon ready to devour all life. A dome of pure black energy surrounded the castle, radiating a chilling cold that could be felt even from a distance. Plung knew instantly that this was his destination, and Anjali was inside. The exhaustion from his fight vanished completely, replaced by a burning fury and a powerful resolve. He had to break through that barrier. He had to stop that hellish ritual, and he had to bring Anjali back. Before him stood a final barrier that seemed impossible to destroy. Behind him lay the entire world teetering on the brink of catastrophe. The young man gripped his sword tightly, his gaze as sharp and unyielding as diamond-forged steel. He leapt from the hill, charging directly towards the arcane dome without a single moment of hesitation.